We'll call our meeting to order. We'll start the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Attendance.
Yep.
Approval of the agenda. I have some things that I need to add that came in late because I was late getting the agenda, so my apologies for that. I'll move associated pools up between 7 and 8. So associated pools will now become 8. We'll talk with them first, but then if they need to get back on the road, they can get out of here.
Okay, they could be 8 because it's pool sandblast.
Yeah, but I updated that.
Okay.
We'll just move them.
Okay.
I have them actually titled in there. And then another thing too, I think we need to talk about is the electrical at the pool. I'm gonna put that at 13. Make a motion for those changes. Sounds like it. Okay. Any other discussion on that, or any other additions? Subtractions?
Well, oh, no, it'll fit. I got it on place.
Okay. All right, Kelly, do you have anything to?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second, anybody?
Okay. Ross, we'll vote on that. Ross. Aye. Dana? Yep.
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Yep. Approve the December 2024 meeting minutes. Judy for the email those to you, so you can have those. I believe Paul will have them in the packet.
Yeah, he does. And did you also?
I don't know Judy yet. And then, I mean, it says it was called the order by President Jack Dennis, but then in attendance, you don't list me in there.
I don't, because you've already just said you were there because
Okay.
you were the president.
Perfect, I just noticed that.
Okay, and I never put you there?
I don't think
You don't get double billing, that's what I'm telling you.
that's fine by me.
I have one thing that on the meeting minutes that I'd probably like to see changed.
Okay.
The paragraph about the financials, it sounds like for their November income, you received $227,000 from McLean County. And that's not, that's spread out over the whole next year. I don't think you're gonna get much fundraising traction if you get $225,000 a month.
Yeah.
I would
Okay.
make a motion to get that changed to say the $227,100.
It's a budget for the year.
It's a budget for 2025.
That makes sense, that's, you're right.
Did you get that, Judy? I made a motion, Brock second.
Oh, yes.
Any other discussion on that motion? Nothing? Sure. It was reported to Jack that the park board pickup was reported in Underwood. I believe that was in the November meeting, not the December.
How did they do that?
I'll make a
I'll
motion
just
that gets taken out.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
other than that, any questions on this? Make a motion to approve those with the changes.
I'll second.
Financial report.
Hey, I think there are a couple things. This is gonna be the big one, I guess, that we just got from, Clinton County, this is for the real estate taxes. And I'd kinda like to have somebody go through this and make sure before we pay it, that the land swaps and stuff that have gone on with the city, some of that is still included in here.
Okay.
So that would be the one thing, but that's gonna give you a total of what your property taxes are gonna be for this year.
22,883.76. Do you want to go through it, or do you want me to?
I can go through it, or do you want to go through it together?
Okay,
That's what's in changes, right?
yeah. Well, the
Well,
property,
I'm assuming that it's less than any changes, but I just wanna make sure that is reflected in there, that whatever property you gave up to the city is not still being included in that.
okay, yeah, that's, okay.
Yeah, we'll go through it.
Other than that, there's not a lot going on, obviously. The checks for the month and, not a lot there. There's the deposits from McLean County. I'm hoping with either January or February here, your deposits from McLean County should bounce up. Once property taxes are paid, you'll start getting more of that.
I had to have that explained to me this week, so we get an amount, but in the end of the year, total that 200 and.
Well, less anything that's not collected.
Right,
The only thing would be, I guess with the checking at about 26 or so, we pay out 22 on the taxes. We may end up looking at moving us a little bit over, just depends if we start getting some of the bigger deposits from Clean County, then we'll have to worry about it, but we'll discuss, we had it on the January one to know what that is, so.
When do we usually get those January, or like our monthly?
It's every month, and usually it's about the 10th.
Okay,
It's auto deposited into your account.
so we should be getting those within,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Usually the bigger ones, like I said, I think are like February, March, because that's when February is usually for the taxes, so at that point, most people will pay, and that's when you start getting the majority of your money for the year. So that's about all what I really have.
Did you get all the receipts from me?
I did get the receipts, but I was telling Judy before, I had not received the credit card statement,
Okay, no, there's nothing else.
so I don't know what's going on with it.
did you use the credit card? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna call on it to see why we haven't got a
since
statement.
you used it, right?
Yeah, it was
last
like
month or a month before.
first in December, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll just check on it, because I used it through the summer and it came and paid, but it, yeah.
Okay. And that's through True Community, right, they can send it, they'll send it directly to you.
That's sort of what they did before. I received it in the mail before, and now I just haven't seen one.
Okay. You're gonna check on that, Judy?
Yep,
Okay.
let's see. Yeah. There's a number on our card, so.
Oh, there's a credit card.
We can
Yeah,
probably,
well, I think there.
that number on your card, though, you're probably not gonna get the bank, you're probably gonna get
Yeah,
the national, you're gonna be better off going to the bank.
Okay, I can
than
call
talking
them.
to-
Yep,
They have to be able to, you understand, because it's routine to do the data, that's what card companies call it.
yeah, it is. They called the credit card company every time I went to do something.
Okay. I will make a motion to approve the financial report.
And I'll second that.
All in favor, Brock?
Aye.
Dana? Yes. Judy?
Yes,
Kelly? Yes. All right, one, talking about meeting time change, I know some are having issues with work and scheduling, for the 5:15 meeting time. Does 5:15 work for everybody still? Would it be easier to move it back? Kind of what your thoughts on that? We can hopefully have everybody in attendance every month.
I'm fine with 5:15. Are you?
I can make it work, yeah.
I'm fine with it, and when I had my ID call overtime, I expected it, like, I gotta do it, but I had to do it.
Okay.
Now that being said, I'm, for Wednesday, for things, we won't switch to anybody, but I think we can push it into a week, but that's Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, we would keep it Wednesday,
Okay.
because typically there's no activities, there's a Awanas and church stuff, but
Okay.
I don't know if it's easier. What time does Awanas and church stuff start typically?
Alana is at 6:30, so I guess if we keep it on Wednesday, I guess until Alana is over, I would prefer having it back later.
Like, keep it at 5:15 or move it to like 6?
Move it to like 6:30.
Okay.
I'm fine with it moving too.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine with it moving too.
But then what do we do when Awanas is on? Change it back.
Once I would say if we change it, let's keep it as is throughout the whole year, that way we're not fluctuating our time. People are like, well, I thought it was at 5:15 in the summer months, and we're back to 6:30 in the winter months.
Well, I do have a problem with Wednesday night then because I have confirmation.
Okay.
Now, I don't always have confirmation, but I have it for a month now, so
And what time does that start? That's just
I have to be there at 5:45.
5:45, okay.
And that's like now.
Just for the month of January, or January 1st?
Yeah, you know what, I don't keep the yearly anymore, but if they call me, then I have to be there at that time.
Well, I would say if it's just 1 month and it's 1 meeting, let's move it to, I would make a motion that we would move it to 6 o'clock. And if Judy gets to miss or call in,
Yep.
you can do that.
Okay.
If you're just kind of a temp and you're not fully committed to it, I guess. If it works for everybody else, I think 6 o'clock would be easier and a little more convenient.
But if I am not gonna be here, I can't be on the phone because I'm a teacher.
Right, right.
All right,
And then somebody else can take
Yeah.
minutes, Dana would gladly do that. So.
yep.
All right, I guess I'll make the motion then for 6 o'clock start time, starting in February.
Okay. Okay. I will,
Do we need to vote on that yet?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, Judy,
yes,
Kelly,
Yes.
Jack, yeah.
Second Tuesday of every month.
Yeah, so the second Wednesday, same, date as always, just the time change to 6 PM now instead of 5:15.
okay.
All right, we'll have the Associated Pool guys come up. And with us, you guys wanna take the two seats? It's easier for Judy when she rewalks because the microphone's right here.
I
so.
can introduce Stan, but I don't know who else.
Justin?
Oh, hi, Dustin. Okay.
You want me to talk? Yeah, we can go first.
Oh, you know what? Sit down here because we're live. And we can hear you.
And Dennis, do you have anything?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we will.
Okay.
Oh, it's
I know
okay.
that's it, but I haven't met you yet.
Yeah. Come up here.
Oh,
Here's another copy of the Bible.
okay.
So you got that, you got it.
Okay, so this kind of all came about because you guys were looking at sandblasting, and then once you guys got a sandblasting quote, the guy that was doing it kind of quit doing it. And so then we were asked to look at a liner quote for you guys. There's information on that. Just as we were talking about it, I kind of started going through the age of what's there. So 1983 pool, the skimmers are in pretty rough shape, and that's the top of the water where it sucks out of the pool to the filtration system. Also, all the inlets where the water comes back to the pool, they have an old style, basically looks like what I would consider like your utility room floor drain grate on it. That's not really going to be applicable for them to put a liner on. So
they need to be changed.
Yeah, and so as we were talking about that, and we've been going through it, there's, I think I counted 15 skimmers on the pool. If one of those would be broken, to cut it out and replace it, it was probably about $12,000. If we get into the situation of a liner and something breaks behind it, then we also would have a liner repair on top of that. It's one solid block of concrete that you have to cut out the wall, probably 4 feet wide, 6 feet in height, pour it back in and try to repair it too, and then put the liner in. So that's why this goes expensive beyond with an option.
That's the one with the gutter thing.
Yep, and so backing up 1 second, no matter where we would go, I would want to have, there's a company that we use, that does leak detection for us. We can pressure test everything, but these guys have really good cameras, and so if there is a leak, they can get cameras down these pipes and locate them within usually about 2 feet. So that's where I would suggest spring start, because even with a liner at this point, we won't get it in before the pool season. It would have to be an August thing. It's pretty hard to
Yeah.
schedule these.
And you know what, we've settled on that, we're okay with that.
Yep, and so the reason that all this extra stuff is here is because I'm worried that if we put a liner in, there's gonna be fixes that are gonna come up in the next, hopefully 10 years, but there's gonna be major fixes, it's gonna be damage to that liner, there's gonna be more. So this is what I would kind of consider this as a 15-year package. What this would do is it would eliminate almost all of the plumbing around the pool. You'd have 2 dropouts from the gutter. So if we put a surface gutter in, and all those skimmers would go away. So there'd be 2 pipes that dropped out of there and went back to the filter room. You'd still have piping from the main drain back, and you'd only have 1 pipe going out to the pool to send water back, and that would go through the gutter, and it would shoot out of the stainless steel gutter. So this eliminates 19 inlets around the pool.
50 penetrations what I counted.
Yeah.
16 inlets and, 18 skimmers, and each skimmer has two penetrations.
Right, because there's also a winterizing hole in the front of the pool,
And then equalizer.
and then there's an equalizer. And so, if we were gonna go with just a liner, all the holes in the pool, we would have to strip that and bring new piping out so they could put a fitting on that would work with it. So, it'd be a lot simpler for, winterizing. It would eliminate a lot of the risk. I understand that this is a lot bigger than what just the liner looks like, but I would say, the gutter should last 20 years. Liner, about 15-year life on the liner. So this would be potentially like that 15-year investment, where I don't think you guys would have anything substantial.
Everything would be new leading up to the pool too.
Yeah, I think the Hazen's on there about 12 years, I think.
Okay.
And it's looking good yet. We haven't had any callbacks on repairs or anything.
Not 15 plus.
Yep, 15 plus. I think go a lot longer, then we'll be, 10
So
years.
was their pool the same situation where they do all kinds of like plumbing work around it too to update all of that?
Well, some of them had the old gutter, like if you look at the old gutter system, they don't have any grading. So we pretty much cut the top of the pool off, and we went with the new gutter that has grading on it. And what we did with mine,
We did the same thing to Lakota's pool, which is probably an early 80s pool, that the structure was in bad enough shape where it was going to need to be sandblasted. The plumbing was old, and so we cut the top, just like this says on here, we cut the top 18 inches of the pool off, set a stainless steel gutter on it. We'd eliminate 90% of your plumbing. That's the scary thing is no matter what investment you guys put on into the shell right now, the plumbing's 41 years old underground.
Well, and she knows all that because she's there every day.
Yep.
And I know that it leaks. And I'm thinking, yes, we can have it blasted and we can fill the leaks, but we're gonna have new leaks.
Yeah, we can fill them and then paint it, you know, painting's about 60,000, 70,000 for paint. And that's every 5-ish years.
Yeah.
And then to find somebody else, a mobile sandblaster, I don't remember what that number is, but he gave you a price, didn't he?
Yep, I didn't ever get that.
That was like 60 or 80,000.
Yeah,
Well, then
yeah.
when he pulled
Yeah.
up shop now, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was just for sandblasting and paint on top.
Yeah,
So,
and the ceiling, you know,
Yeah.
and all that.
so it'd be, I mean, just with the simple paint, if we could find another sandblaster, you'd be looking at, you know, that 135,000 this year, and then paint goes up, labor goes up. So 5 years, you'd be looking at 70,000 to paint it again, and so it's, the liner itself would probably be taken care of in a 5-year cycle where it would pay for itself. The addition is just literally kind of like, this is the next 15 years of the pool. We don't want major things that could pop up. Yep. The top line in there with the existing wading pool, our boss kind of helped create some of the gutter stuff, and he just threw that in there. So item number 1, I would consider as a last line item. That's just an option of kind of doing the combination, because you guys have talked about a splash pad, something more kind of kid.
You know what, though, we had a discussion about that, and yes, I want a splash pad. It's a joke. Every time we have 45 cents at this, and we put it to
Yeah.
But, you know, Kelly made a good point. That baby pool lets the little kids get used to water.
Yeah.
And it's there,
And it would be 0 entrance to 2 feet. You know,
so basically they're doing a whole new
And
one.
then what we do is we put splash pad features on the 0 entrance. You can put a few nozzles in there and stuff, so it does something.
Some splash.
And 0 entrance means that there's no. Yeah, like tip buckets, central under and stuff like that, you can put on. Okay. You can wheel in. And a well-designed splash pad is good for little kids getting used to it, as long as you don't allow, a lot of times the design will have too many features in there, and so your little kids can't actually walk into a splash pad without getting hit in the face with water 3 or 4 times. But if you have a couple things out there where they can balance themselves and jump in and back out, you know, that gets them used to it. So let's kind of look at kind of a combination of a splash pad, but instead of it just being a flat concrete surface, you still have about this much water in there for them to be in.
And we're looking at 220,000 for that.
Yep.
All right. Okay, but this is my second question on that one. Could we maybe hold off a year before we did this?
Absolutely. You bet. And
Because
so,
that would take us down 220,000, right?
Yep, and so looking at this, the one thing that I know as I've been going through this is, obviously over $100,000, it's gotta go to public bid. Right? For
Anything over for us is,
How would you for this one?
isn't it
25,000.
2,500? So
No, 2,500.
Okay. Well, so that being said, one thing for most of the park boards, the city attorneys have said that, the liner side of it would be like putting a new roof on a building. So yes, it would still have to go out for public bid, but it shouldn't need engineering. So you wouldn't have to have an architect involved.
Okay.
But as we would go through any of the other stuff, like the gutter, the kiddie pool and stuff like that, that would have to have an engineering stamp and approval and stuff on that. We do have a structural engineer that works for us, and so he could give you guys, and he'd probably do a flat rate on a design, but it would generally probably be a lot less than going out any further, and maybe on something like this, he wouldn't, but it's kinda tough when, if you put, you know, days and days into designing something and then it goes out for public bid and we wouldn't get it. So that probably, I would say, you would have a fee for the design, but I don't think it would be that much. We could work with that, but, so those are kind of the steps though, is if you guys would wanna look at this other stuff moving forward, you know, it's gonna have to be engineered and stamped and permitted. If we would only go with the liner, which I think might be trouble down the road, like I said, it could be like putting a roof on the building or a new coat of paint where it's considered very expensive but a maintenance item, so we're not creating anything different.
Right. So then if we did, you know, we got the public bid out and we end up going with you guys, the engineer would reduce it down and go back to
I think we could talk to them.
something.
Yeah, you know,
It's pretty good.
yeah, that's not,
For you to decide.
that's not for me to decide. We can figure that out moving forward. This is more to bring options to the table and see, what you guys think. I question just doing the liner as a full investment. I know it's a lot of money to go any further, but, I would just hate to have to break into it in a year or two.
Yeah,
So,
But going back to that, you're saying if we put the liner in and we run into an issue of a leak underneath, a pipe underneath, we're gonna have to tear that liner apart 4 feet by 4 feet in that section. And then we gotta come back in and replace just that section, or is it the whole?
yeah, no, it'll be a little more, but it'll be seamed and patched and stuff like that, which they do a pretty good job, but,
That's one good thing about liner, then like there's a storm, something would blow in and cut the liner or something, they can patch it.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
and it's got a 15-year guarantee.
Right. And then you were talking about the gutters and the plumbing and everything at the pool being so old, that will eliminate a lot of that, or will that feed into that plumbing?
the gutter would eliminate 95% of the plumbing that's out there.
I know that was a lot of issues in years past, where a lot of the plumbing, we were having issues, I mean, they were tearing apart the deck, the pipe.
And the thing, you have always decks moving in North Dakota, your decks move all the time.
So,
Here you don't have that, you don't have anything other than the main drain running back.
so
Everything else is higher.
the gutter would be just like this, one solid channel around the outside.
Is it in the wall, or is it on top of on the deck?
It would sit flush with the deck and below, so the water would flow into it, but the gutter would sit flush to the deck. There's a bunch of
This is your
different,
deck right here, this would be the top of your deck.
Do you have a picture in this book of one that has that, where you can,
no, that's only
As far
liner.
as the gutters, this is kind of what the gutters would look like. This is your deck right here on the top, and this, your water level would be right about here, in here. And this is like grading, if they step on, when they get out of the pool, they step on this and get out. But this is actually your deck right here. And this goes back, this would be your deck.
so then is there a lot of water that ends up on the deck?
None.
No.
Because it's about that, you got about maybe 6 inches before that grading, and that's where the water runs in, and the water sits about this far from the top of the grading.
Okay.
And where they have the weirs, so what they call them, so it takes like, where if a bunch of people jump in and it surges, they open up and let more water in the gutter.
And that way it absorbs the wave.
Oh, yeah, okay, I've seen, yeah,
We have that down here.
yeah, I've seen tools like this, okay, I got that.
Yeah, so this would eliminate the 18, 19 inlets, the water that's coming back from the filter.
So
Because that channel, there's one channel in the front of that gutter that is, it's a welded tube inside there that feeds water out of the gutter back into
That
the
other
pool.
little tube right here, yep, it's a little tube right there, that's the return water.
And then it would eliminate all 15 of the skimmers that are out
That's
there.
what basically it is, right?
Yep, that's it.
And, the gutter would have 2 dropouts
like going back to the
Opposite side.
pump room.
That would,
Mhm.
yep, go back to the suction side of the
Then there's
pump.
like a standpipe in the pump room that we just adjust that, so if you cut your main drain down, so you push off the top of your pool,
Mhm.
and then it pushes into the gutter,
Mhm.
and then once you see your gutter, when you just adjust your valves, and once they're good to go.
Okay.
Yep, see, a lot of them, the newer ones, they have what they call surge tanks,
Mhm.
but see, this is a weird, that's a surge gutter, kind of weird with the gutters in it, and then that surge in it.
And the only thing that I didn't see in here that I would suggest would be, coming up with, an automatic fill for it.
Mhm.
We put it in right away, I think,
Yeah.
just throw it in.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
we're
it like
talking.
a pipe
You would have to do the water hose.
Pipes sticking
You know,
out of
it's
that,
just-
yeah, I mean, we still want like a fire hydrant style fill,
Mhm.
because it's such a big pool when you do refill it.
Mhm.
So it's just something to make up the water that's lost from evaporation and stuff.
Isn't
drainage
there a fill line
facility
going
like
back
that.
by where there used to be the, diving boards? Isn't there a fill little pipe that goes over the deck that fills?
Right by the,
Right by the building.
One right
Yeah,
there,
it's
back
funny,
in the
there's a
diving board,
pipe
it's
back
slide.
there, but that,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
for water,
Trickles
for
water
the
to the
slide, yep.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe that used to be used before the slide,
Okay,
I don't
cause I
know.
thought I seen, I had the plans here, I thought I
And
seen that
so-
in there.
So
Yeah.
there's been other discussions, just as there's been around too, about maybe raising up so the pool's not so deep. Bringing it to maybe 6 foot deep in that deep end, since you don't have diving anymore. There's options that can be done for that if you guys get to that point. One thing is if you get rid of that 13 feet deep, there's potentially insurance savings on that. A lot of cities have taken out their diving boards because
Mhm.
of insurance and liability savings.
Mhm.
It probably takes 15 years to pay for itself and the savings to do to raise it up, but it's, do you guys want the 13 feet deep still,
So we had, you typically meet it with like the slides there.
And we cut the climbing wall,
What about our rock wall?
6
We
feet
could
to
get
that,
rid of that thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
You don't like the rock wall?
That one?
the rocks on it are more dangerous than anything around the pool. They're so jagged and they're not tight and.
Oh, you can get some new ones for that.
You can, I called and you could get 6 of them for, what was it, like $300. It was insane. I was like, I think we're.
Got anybody with 3D printer?
Yeah,
3D printer?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That might, if we were to have,
I have a brother-in-law, he
Not-
prints everything.
most likely we wouldn't get a diving board back. But if we were to get a diving board, does it have to be 13 feet?
Yes,
Okay.
it'd be that diving well that they have right there,
Mm-hmm, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So. But that you'd have to raise your main drains and everything like that, so that's another
Mm-hmm,
issue there too.
right.
Diving boards are about 30,000.
I'd like to do 13 feet.
I think-
Kids like it too, because
I think like
Oh,
once
no,
a
wait.
week somebody says to me though, can you please get a diving board back? We want a diving board. I'm like,
We could do a diving platform. So it's just a platform that they walk out and jump off.
yeah.
Would be about the fastest and easiest, probably would be only 20. Yeah. No, they're not that much, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of them are going to want it to go that way, diving platform instead of board.
Mm-hmm,
But, who doesn't like to jump off of something? I did.
right.
So yeah, there's a lot here. Probably, just for the line scheduling, we would probably wanna start looking at if we would typically do a liner next August. We would probably need to have a pretty good idea by March if that's was something, because these guys get stacked out pretty busy. We don't, that's a separate company. We don't do the liners. It's guys that only do liners. It's a trade, basically.
So the guys that do the liners, you guys
subcontract,
Yep, yeah.
and we do everything through you, we don't have to contact.
You don't have to
that company.
call them guys or call them or anything. We do everything.
All that for
We
us.
would, we do all the
This is just like
coordination
one of
on
our
it.
employees.
We're the ones that have to fight
Yeah.
if there's any warranty issues and stuff
Yep,
like that.
we take care of it and then we play with them.
Well, this almost looks like our pool right here.
So if we did do the whole, like, the
Yeah.
whole gamut, what's the timeline on that then? Like, I mean, would we even, would
There
we
it is, but
be able to
that
get
is
in the
it.
summer at all? I mean, if you're putting all
It
the
is our
other
pool, isn't it?
and
It is.
stuff like that in? How long does that all take?
Well, the summer wouldn't start, so,
Okay.
yeah. The thing is you guys are pool so massive, we can't even really put a cover over it and try to work when it's cold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, we do it sometimes and it's not that much fun,
Mm-hmm.
but, I mean, that's,
We could do a lot of the demo like
You know,
that
we'd have to-
without
we'd have
cover.
to, I think Mandan Golf Dome's a little, their golf dome's a little smaller than Bismarck, but, I
They
mean,
were thinking about buying one, but
I heard,
the boss was thinking about buying
Minot State wants to get rid of theirs, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause they said it's too expensive to put it up and down all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and so,
they just don't leave it up.
no, 'cause it's over there.
For the football field.
My son-in-law had one in Missoula, Montana. It was an athletic club, and they had a lot of tennis and stuff that went on too.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Bismarck and Jamestown, they got them up all the time when we were running down for the golf guys for the driving range.
yeah, Murdoch's got 3-4 of those domes now too.
So what is, going back to Jen's question of time frame, I guess starting the fall, obviously our winter, our spring, we can't,
Yeah,
we don't know. If we would do it, would we be open by June, the end of June?
You know, the best would be get everything, like all the mechanical done, through the winter and then during the fall and the spring, and then have these liner guys set up for May. You know,
So basically, all demo would be through the fall,
Yep.
and then pretty much all new repairs, like that, stuff done there.
we can
And
get
that's fine
quite a
if
bit,
you guys do
except
the
for when
demo,
you put
fine
pipe
if you
in,
do the winter.
you're gonna support that.
And
could
we
run pipes, you
close
can do all
down
that.
in August because we lose our lifeguard
Right.
yep.
to school.
And that's
if we
supposed,
close-
where we would have extra.
close in July,
like,
too.
like,
July
like,
31st,
And we start doing winterizing
and we're
August,
not open
September,
for the last
we start.
10, 15 days,
Mhm.
before we elect to get
Yeah, you
well.
count it one like that.
Is that how we do it?
We could-
Yeah,
we
we're
could-
not terribly busy by August,
November,
anyway. I feel like
we
kids
can
are
blanket
kind
A
of.
lot of kids are doing the applications at the
Yeah.
school, and
This fall, November, we can
Yeah.
get it this
Yeah.
November.
fall
So now they're contracted, they have contracted in the middle of July.
We take care of all that.
I don't, yeah, and I don't think that closing super early would probably be, too much of a help. I mean, the demo work and stuff that we would be doing, we don't need 75-degree weather to do it.
I mean, in a decent year, you have August, September, October, 3 months before
Yeah.
really spring you look at
Yeah,
it.
yeah, you don't know, you might get 6 inches of snow on October 10th, but then you might have 55-degree days in November and December too, and so those are wild cards, that's the nature of North Dakota, just like in last spring, I don't think it rained, but about 3 days, and, when you're trying to do finished projects like the liner and stuff like this, if you have 8-9 days of rain in 2 weeks, that basically is 2 weeks to it, so I mean, it's just reality and stuff, but it would be something that we should be able to start in the fall, look at a June 1st opening. I don't think that that's unrealistic.
just typically about when we open anyway.
Yep.
I would say,
Right at, or not long after, but they usually.
Right.
I would say I would honestly include the top waiting pool option in that. I mean, I think that would, if that was for consideration, that would be a secondary one after, but I wouldn't throw that all into the same schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Kelly, you're gonna like the looks of the kiddie pool.
Kelly, do you have any questions for these guys or anything, or can you see what we're talking about?
Yeah, my question is, do you think if we do there's a liner, and she said, are we just putting a Band-Aid on it? And if so, like, my question is, or my concern, I guess, is we spend this money to do the liner, and then, you know, however many years you would think you would get use out of it or make the money back on it. If we didn't have a huge leak underground, you know, right afterwards, would we be better off saving this money and just going for a full-fledged pool remodel?
This is kind of what I would consider a full-fledged pool remodel for you guys. I would say, you know, to put a pool back size in and start new, you're probably, I mean, not figuring what it would take to excavate it out of that spot, you'd be $2.5–3 million, plus demolition of what's there. You guys spent, I'm guessing, around $100,000 on the mechanical equipment 3 years ago. I mean, Kelly 25 on the heater, yeah, you know, and so that mechanical room, I mean, there's gonna be things that, you know, the pump will need to be rebuilt at some point, but the mechanical room's been updated, and this is what I would consider, this package is what I would consider a full-fledged remodel on your pool.
It is, Kelly. I texted you, pictures of these numbers that they sent us just now when we were asking that question, so if you wanna look at it,
Okay.
I texted you those pictures.
Now that being said, our upgrade, our mechanical room and stuff, maybe any additions to that?
No, I mean, we'd probably, I mean, we'd be bringing new piping in there, but just meeting up on the backside of what's there. I mean, if we did anything to the wading pool, that would be different. We'd chop all that wading pool stuff out of there, because that's kind of a conglomerated mess of just piping, but that's really small and minor piping, 2-inch PVC at the most, but we'd bring, you know, if we did the gutter, we'd bring new pipes back, so there was new piping from the pool inside the mechanical room, and we'd hook up to the newer equipment there.
And again, with that drain style, you said it eliminates the fish tank?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't need your recycle pumps and that kind of stuff? For your return water?
Would be the same pump.
It'd be the same pump?
Yeah, it's the same pump.
Cause they're not really even
Except for the
gonna
inlet
do pump room or mechanical room, it's just that.
What's on that, once they add that, that eliminates some other things you don't use, so it makes sure you don't have to add anything
It would
else.
just be like the skimmer line, you eliminate the skimmer line and you tie in the gutters into the main drain line. So it's kind of the same thing, but it'd be a little bit easier.
It'll be size though, so I mean, it's size per flow, so it'll be kind of a 1-for-1 where the equipment that fails, so
I think it's like
Will
you come in with a 6-inch line and thinking,
Can you tell me again the drains on the side that you're saying needs to be the skimmer? Yeah. Well, the new, if okay, there's 15 skimmers, but you're gonna eliminate skimmers if we have the new.
yeah, if you put the new gutter in, there's actually 50 penetrations right now with inlets, and then you have your winterizer and you have your equalizers on the skimmers, so that would all be eliminated.
So all those holes would be plugged,
They would be gone.
okay?
Yep.
And all the, like you said, that was like a floor drain, all those would be gone.
Yep.
all that would be built into the gutter, so
Yep.
the only remaining holes in the pool
It'd be
that
one
would stay
drain.
the same would be the main drain.
Okay. So that's basically that, you said 95% is new plumbing, that's basically
Yep.
5% left.
Yep.
Is that
The main drain, yep.
Is that one page over here that's only doing that for warranty work?
Yeah, on that, that's good.
That's on one, okay.
And for our stuff, we'd have a different separate contractor's warranty and stuff for anything else that was done. The gutter would come with a different with a separate warranty and all
So
that.
that wouldn't fall with a 15-year warranty, or how does that work for y'all?
But that would be the liner would be 15, and then whatever we have, whatever they come up with, whatever paddock gutters, I think we use paddock, right?
I think gutters come with a 10.
10, I think it's 10 years too.
Okay. You know, those gutters, I mean, do I have to plant back a bit of meters, because that as well too, for the warranty on that portion, because the workplace, I don't know, I mean, just go to those back orders, all comes in, right? You know, water comes in, it surges up and opens within.
No, those,
Oh, yeah, I mean, in the front there,
Correct.
right, yeah, they just got the little rollers with it.
Okay.
But, and so the surge, the ones that we're talking about.
I've never replaced,
Oh, you just go, yeah,
I've
we,
never replaced surge weird, I mean,
Okay.
those little plastic there, no, and,
Yeah.
I can remember.
there's lots of them that are around that are as old as I am, so.
Solid to
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing all over the workplace, all that kind of stuff.
And the only way is, because you'd have to cut the, you'd have to cut the top of that gutter off to pull it out of there.
Okay.
So the only thing that I do with gutters is, and it's, they're usually 20+ old, is some of the weld joints will start getting pinhole weight cramp, and a welder will come in and patch them, but these are, I'm getting calls where I got one from Kansas this week in a pool we built, and it was 22 years ago, and he said, this year he got 2 pinholes in his gutter that started leaking, so, I mean, longevity on them, that stainless steel, they're pretty,
Okay.
good 30th way to go.
Now, the third party contract coming in, I said you were really wanting me to do a board scope on a contract from on another additional issues, is that what you're saying too?
We wouldn't have to do any of that.
Okay.
It's just, we just tear it out and we put the new in.
Okay. But if we did go with the gutter, because we want to do
Yeah,
that at a time.
yeah, and I emailed the guy and talked to him yesterday, and as I was driving, I didn't see that I had a quote from him yet, but I'm guessing like 4,000 to 5,000 to scope every pipe here.
To really see what you got.
Yeah.
Right.
Which would be
And
good,
like Kelly
good
said,
option.
I was managing it by putting in the liner and then
Good.
come back to it. And
Yeah.
we're still, you know, we get the liner next spring, we start filling the pool, and then all of a sudden,
Mhm.
we got a pipe busted at the end of the year. Now we
It'd be
got
good to have
to
those
tear
things
apart, we
done,
just got this brand new $200,000 liner, and we're already gonna start ripping it
Well, how
apart.
would it even work if we just put in the liner with all that plumbing that's in there, all those?
Just to have check to see if it's good.
But everything that's there, we'd have to chip around them, cut them off, and put a fitting in there that would work, that would come on the outside of the liner.
Which is on the liner cost. Yeah, that's in the liner cost, if you guys just do the liner,
Mm-hmm.
that's in the cost to do those inlets, do all those penetrations.
How is it for, something like that?
You want steps in?
Well, we talked about it, we need either, because our handicap chair that we had, it needed so many parts that was not worth it, and so then we had talked about getting steps or a ramp instead.
That
So,
was to get a wheelchair in.
Right,
Mhm.
so I don't know if,
Tell them how many times we've used that.
well, it's never worked since I've been there.
So when you haven't had anybody
But
but
we
you
did have somebody call this summer and ask,
See if
and,
it works?
yeah, and it's
So, and so I advise a lot of places too, because they have portable ones, and so you get a nice big sign made up, and maybe if this is a big pool, have it posted in a couple places that, you know, ADA lift is available, you know, please ask for assistance. Then you can keep it stored inside, so it's not crawling on it.
Oh,
You know about how much those are?
12,000.
Well, 'cause, you know, there's a place out of Minot that I've written grants to,
Mhm.
and it's, twice less. They call themselves something else now,
Okay.
but 88, they will pretty well give you a pretty nice tip.
Yeah.
But probably not 12,000, 'cause they don't. But I mean, I know where I could go for that.
Right, or, I mean, to get a piece of it at least, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, steps again, though, as you're introducing little kids, steps are a good idea because they have, you know, and there's options where you could make steps and then you could have a part of it like a, what do you call them in residential pools, like hanging decks or whatever, or you could have a larger part that's only under this much water, or your first step could come out like 4 feet before you go down the next couple
and that would
steps.
be so nice too, because that's one thing with our pool, it's 3.5 feet at the shallowest. Well, like, even like my son, he's a second grader, but he's tiny, he can't touch. You know, so even like bigger little kids can't touch in our shallow end, which is like so many little kids like the baby pool, because they can actually touch in there. So, something like that would be really nice.
And that's, yeah, and any ideas you guys have, I mean, we can, work with
Cause
that.
you can
too.
line anything, like you guys, if you want a step, a bigger step in there, something like this, sit down, you could definitely do it.
Which is good, because anything we'd add inside there would essentially be a cold pour, and so.
And you're
it's gonna be-
lining it, so you
Right,
really, you
so it
don't
wouldn't
need
matter
to-
that we're pouring concrete steps on top of concrete, because
Right.
we'll never have to worry about water getting back behind it.
But you're lining it, so
Mm-hmm,
it'd be the way to go.
mm-hmm.
That
I
would, yeah.
just have one last quick question. When we do the demo and we scope the pipes, the concrete valve out in the pool will be gone, correct? So then that'll give us the opportunity to go through all the plumbing and the pipes underneath the pool now and give us the chance to fix what needs to be fixed and replace what needs to be replaced, correct?
That would be, Kelly, the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, is if, we just went with the liners, they would do the scoping and all that. If we didn't go with the liners, they would pretty much be replacing our plumbing system. If we went with the gutter system and the liner, they would be replacing 95% of our, plumbing in the pool, so then that would eliminate having to have somebody come scope out the pool. But if we just went with the liner, then they would pretty much are telling us that we have to get it scoped. And we'd want to, because then we can find cracks and other repairs.
No matter what.
That scope though, man, is it kind of giving us kind of information on only?
This guy, this is Sam, he'll tell you, he'll show you the crack, and then he'll tell you almost right where
No,
it's
no
at.
pressure test, and we'll okay within,
For the whole run of the length, or they want to a certain?
The whole run of the length.
yeah, they can usually get to,
They did 2 inch, so I'm thinking most of the stuff is 2 inches or bigger,
Okay,
so they should be able to get through a lot of that.
alright. Lengthwise.
And it's amazing that Sam is so clear. I mean, we just had him do one down there in Bismarck, and he pinpointed, you could see where it's cracked, the pipe's cracked, and it was put it right on the deck where it's at.
Okay.
And that's what, I mean, that'd be great for you guys, that more the cameras done, and everything, so that's kind of give you, kind of where you're gonna, so which
It
way
would
you're
be a
gonna go.
brand new pool,
Yeah.
basically.
Yep. Yep, if
Yeah, I
you're,
mean, I think I like, the idea of, and what they're proposing, like, I just think that we need to take advantage of having a pool demo and fix everything that needs to be fixed
Yeah.
underground, instead of
oh yeah, that would be all eliminated,
right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
and they had figured in basically cutting the deck back 4 feet in the pool, I think is what it says in
Yep,
there.
yep.
And so that 4 feet of deck all the way around too would be new concrete as part of the gutter system and everything, so.
Oh,
Yep, yep.
So,
Did you hear that, Kelly? They would be actually cutting back 4 feet of our existing concrete and putting in new.
how is it for cleaning? Like, where do all the
And it
weeds,
says in that,
all the
correct,
bugs, all
Kelly,
the
and
stuff that
item
we
number
used to
2.
pull out of the skimmer, where does that all go?
That's in there, yeah.
yeah, so,
But then, like, what about bigger things that
What'd
don't
you
go
say?
down the gutter? Like leaves and whatnot,
Right.
cause out there pool.
they do make somewhere you can put catch baskets in the gutter, because there's literally only gonna be about 2 dropouts in there, so there's a section of grading you can pull out. Otherwise, you end up with them, in your pump sprayer.
Either pump strainer or you cut on the grading, but you just wash down anyway.
Yeah, we usually get through that.
Cause your dropouts are like 6 inch or 8 inch, so it takes anything.
Oh, okay.
All those leaves and everything, they're gone.
But I mean, honestly,
It's
most people, the spring it's a pain for a week or 2 when there's a lot of loose stuff, and then it kinda cleans up a lot.
Okay.
But,
you wouldn't have to go to 16 skimmers anymore, you just have to go to one
Right.
pump back.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
and especially if you guys are doing a electrical quote on the pool room, it might be easier and not as scary to shut the pump on and off.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's no ads, no plans.
I didn't hear this label so well.
Yeah,
Sure, my internet on, it's really loud.
Like your fingers and,
yeah.
I have another question, Chris. Say we, agree on this and decide to go forward, what's the payment portion of it for you guys, like, do you require a percentage down and then the rest of it in increments going forward, or how do you have it all laid out?
Yeah, it's usually so much down, spend a percentage down.
It's probably do 20% down on it, and then they usually do incremental billing to whatever they can say.
Right, right,
80% or 90% substantial completion, and then there's retention until everything
Like 10%.
is complete. You know, like I said, this is kind of an idea stage and an optional stage, so, we can deliver contract options and stuff for you guys. We can try to pull in something to potentially, you know, add a different entry to the pool as part of this, or whatever you guys want from us, we will try to mold it to fit, so you guys just let us know what information you need. I'll leave a business card or two here, so you guys have an email contact, and you guys could, then you guys can just reach out and we can manipulate it, so whatever you think serves you guys the best.
Could you do that right away, get a ramp or the stairs built into one of these, so that we can look at that too before we...
Yeah, we could do another one of these with the stairs in it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We'll do a little more manipulating.
Okay, but give us just a little bit of time for us to decide.
Oh, yeah,
what we
then you
should
guys,
do. Yeah.
And this, and you
So
need
you're
to
not doing it
know,
twice,
Yeah.
is what we're saying.
you need to know by,
End of March.
end of March.
I mean, I know you guys have a process, and then, you know, if you guys decide and you pass it, and it goes out for public bid, but if we're generally thinking about trying to schedule a liner trimmed in, if we do the whole package, the liner's probably not gonna be until, like, the following May. If we only do the liner, that's something that we would wanna know by March, so we could try to do it.
Yeah, maybe that's good over there by the spring.
Yeah.
You guys, we don't have a pool that's good enough to put that liner in without going, you know, I mean, it's like, why stop in Chicago? And then take it to New York. I mean, I just can't see, I'm listening to this, and you have to mention that, because I didn't understand that.
Neither of them would be my first choice.
Florida type of thing, yeah.
You know, I just knocked off what the baby pool would be, and we're down to 690,000. We're trying to figure out how to raise two.
Yeah,
So
Yep.
we've got a long ways, I mean,
understandable.
And so your pool's functional as is. I mean, it might not look pretty, but I mean, I don't think it's worth trying to slap a coat of paint over the top
No,
of it.
we're
It's
not.
gonna make more of a mess.
yeah,
And so, you know, so be it. If the pool's gonna run this summer the way that it is right now, you know, and so just whatever it takes, whenever, you know, and maybe there's somebody in town that wants to put their last name on something, you never know.
You can name it the City Boardary Public
There
Health.
you go.
With a bit more.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Something in hiding.
This is backtrack a little bit, but where we're in Carolyn, where y'all realistically see as far as repair-wise on top and
If I knew,
liner, I mean,
if there's an issue, it's usually between the first and the second unit.
okay. And is it a cracking issue, or is it a
It's
cracking issue?
So it's a welded PVC seam like white roofs are now. It's basically three times as thick, 3 times the mills of what your PVC roofs are now. If they have a seam that failed, it's been between year 1 and year 2.
and they come and fix it.
The only other failures we've really had are muskrat, raccoons. They get stuck in the pool and can't get out and scratch, and you know, but that's kind of a,
I was here.
we can't really help that, you know.
But they can repair it, that's not a problem.
They can patch it and repair it, and hopefully, it's not something we wanna get in the business of installing, but hopefully we can get a couple guys that are certified to do the repairs, and so if there was something like that happened, you know, we could come out and confidently say, you know, we're doing this, but it's not a trade that I want us to take over. I think there's people that do it every day.
If we do have a repair issue, like we find the work that we have small repair in it, does that really, it pretty much is like a whole pull down, or can it kind of go, you know, around, you know, what it gets to be using this with that, or just like,
Well, if it's under the water line, you'd have to drain it and pass it.
okay, right away then?
Yes, because then the water gets behind the liner, then it floats everything.
Okay.
It's amazing how it does that, but
Yeah.
the little pinhole there wants to get behind it.
I mean, we're not gonna, it depends on the time, if something would come up, we wanna fix your pool as soon as possible. But we're not, if something happens and there's a bubble down there, we're not gonna tell you to take your pool down the week before the 4th of July and drain it. You know, it's just a big pool, you know.
Depending on what the failure is, or the problem is,
Yeah.
you have to drain the whole pool no matter what?
No, I mean, if it's in the.
If it's on the top,
wall area,
little
if
bit,
it's in the-
yeah.
if it's
Drain
in
it
the
below
wall,
and then you
yeah.
do it from the top?
But honestly, we haven't had a lot of issues with
From the
with
wall,
these.
so all lower?
Well, no, just really in general, I mean, one of the pools we put a liner in, the structure was so bad, and there was so much groundwater, that there was a stream of water that would shoot out of the cracks about this tall. And that liner is still in there and holding. There's so much groundwater, it would spurt little springs out of it. And we had pumps constantly, some pumps around the outside of the pool and wells trying to pump the water out. We could never get it to stop coming out of there, and they got that liner to seal over the cracks that were shooting water out.
If you do get water behind, they always put a bunch of little caps and stuff like that, all over, like a couple in the deep end, a couple on the walls, so if anything would happen, you just pull those caps off, put a vacuum cleaner on there, and we've done it before, it just sucks all the liner dry, you put the cap back on, you attach the liner, and you're good to go.
I don't think you probably have a ton of groundwater though, because it's pretty much sits on a hill, so everything isn't, I mean, you're not.
Yeah. You never know. It's groundwater.
Then I
Do
know
you have water trouble at your house? We don't either.
That's a good,
But a lot of people do.
that in the basement,
Mhm, lots-
pumps
lots
running
of
all the
pump-
time.
We live on the river bottom, our sub pump never runs.
Perfect.
There are people that live at the very top
Some
of the hill,
people are
that
lucky,
are
but-
top of the-
Yeah, I know, we have a sub pump for it,
Yep, yep.
and it has literally never run.
That's good.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think if we do it, I think we should do it right, and I think too having, as you said, there's a lot of money to raise, but I think once we have like the plan finalized, and we can have like it posted, like this is what we're doing, and this is what we're working towards, I think we end up getting a lot of support and a lot of donations, and like you said, the pool hasn't been, it's, you know, from the 80s, people I think realize that, and need to realize that, so, yeah, I'm for it.
Well, one thing too, this is a big enough amount that I'm not so sure we don't need a professional fundraiser.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What do you do?
Fundraising's your portfolio.
But I am not
Yeah.
a professional. I mean, there is such a,
We should probably get some pictures together too of what your pool would look like with the skimmers and what they would look like with the newsletter system.
yeah, that would be
Yeah,
good.
because that really helps with fundraising.
Yeah.
When they can see something.
Could you get those and that new quote, and that quote, whatever,
For the steps.
for the steps?
I'll work on it tomorrow.
Email that to me and I can get it out to the rest of us.
Okay.
You kind of decide, do you have any questions on that thing, or?
What, Joey?
You want
If
to
we just go walk in one thing and just,
I don't have choice.
Okay. Okay.
They're gonna have to fundraising, some grant writing and some.
Get the pen ready going on.
You got his card?
Yep.
Then I'll get the pass. The pass me.
Perfect. Kelly, I'll take a picture of this business card and send it to you too here.
And I sent you, a picture of the quote with the steps and the county steps in it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind doing a couple options for the stairs or a ramp or.
Oh, I got it. Thank you.
Those people here, those confirmed. Pictures.
Take over a minute.
No, just to add to this and throw it in my stuff.
Why not the front door?
Well, I'll put the front door.
You know, people see that at home.
Does anybody else have any questions for?
You absolutely can come in and say
Yeah.
that is
Thank you
easier,
very
right?
This is, one budget will come
Let
up.
us know if
Taking the time to
Yeah,
go through all
you
those
guys,
options.
we did it,
Back there again, I can come back too then.
Well,
No problem.
I'm sure we'll have you guys back up.
we probably will, but thank you because we didn't know what we were looking at, obviously. I just ordered a thermometer that goes to 200,000.
That's a down payment, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that thermometer, yeah.
You know, what do they, what do we do? How do we get that much money? These guys won't give me a splash pad.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
I was just gonna say, Lucas was doing a big huge thing, that's where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
I should call.
This is Cindy and Greg Solvay?
This is the thing.
Yeah, Cindy's my
Oh, I
sister.
graduated with, David.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, I don't know how they got it. They were either
Yeah.
million two, something like that.
Yeah, so I talked to somebody, I called one of the park board members, and she said, yeah, over $1 million.
It's $1 million two, if I remember it.
That's crazy.
Well, one farmer just planted 205,000.
Was that Boise?
I think so.
Yeah, I know that was huge donation.
Yep, someone did it. I think it
But
was
just
500.
throw another 500 that they came up with. I mean, that's a lot of money for a little community.
For a little town. Yeah.
More than a big sale.
Yeah. But you know what? Everything helps, big sales help.
Oh, you bet. I totally agree.
yeah, I mean, there's been some major grant dollars out there when they were throwing COVID money around and stuff that people were able to go and get money from the state, but, you know, I know like even all the ARPA dollars had to be allocated by the first city and stuff like that, so where all those, I don't know that we're gonna find all that free handout money that just got thrown at everybody in the last couple of years, but there's,
When I tell you we don't charge for the kids to swim, you know, it isn't very much money for these. And the kids that we really want to have swim can't because they can't afford.
Right.
yeah.
And so it just works out that we really get a lot of donations, and I'll tell you this. A guy came with his kid one day, and I never seen him before. He wasn't from here. And he pulled out $100 bill to pay for and I said, sir, we don't charge. And he said, you don't charge anything? And I said, no, we just want to make sure everybody gets a chance to swim. And he went to put that $100 bill back in his wallet, and he put it in the drawer. Because we have a donation jar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, I mean,
Get some pictures and get some folders up, pamphlets up, and
even living in Bismarck, there's not an infinite amount of stuff for young kids to do, and, I mean, to keep them out of trouble and stuff like that, and
single bag
can you tell?
Well, you know what, it's kind of a big deal. The pool is very important to our community, and I will tell you this, park board is very important because we run the baseball program. If something gets done, it gets done through us, and so,
I know I did it, when I had kids, I did it.
yeah.
And Bismarck, it's not free for everybody to go to those pools, but, you know, if you have some income restrictions and stuff, I mean, kids can get free pool passes and stuff like that too, you can apply for all that stuff, so
But
that's
it
what.
doesn't amount to enough.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you guys can give that to your community, and kids can come and not have to pay, I think that's awesome, I mean.
And we have a very generous, Legion host that takes very good care of us. They give us money in the spring to supplement our wages through the summer so we can pay more and have lifeguards.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And we had how many applications last year?
23, I think.
We had 23. Yeah.
More than Bismarck.
Oh, yeah.
We pay more than business.
We have.
I have a gal, she's been at the aquatic center
Yep.
for, I don't know, 6 years, 8 years, something, and she got paid more working, she did swimming lessons, but she got paid more working here this summer than she,
Nice.
so, yeah, that's a big
That's like
help
this
for.
much, I don't know, continue to open a couple pools.
But isn't that
Well, and it's
amazing?
kids here working too, because otherwise they would say, well, I'm gonna go work in Bismarck, I can make more, so keep them here.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mhm.
Those both have machines actually, did some good for a lot of.
Yeah, go gamble.
I mean, there's some money.
Yeah, please let me go gamble.
There's tons of smaller town pools and stuff that have told me how much money they've gotten from, you know, from the full time machines, be it the Legion or the fire department or whoever
Yeah.
their entity is for their charities and stuff in town, but, I mean, you're looking at, it's like, people spend how much? I mean, people have to spend how much in full tabs for you to get a check that big, and, like,
It's amazing.
I know the guy.
You want to stick this to the file?
We have a pile of full tabs, we're sitting at the
Yeah.
bottom, like,
Yeah.
so, yeah, if you can have some email,
I'll send you an email either evening or tomorrow morning, probably. Yeah, it'd be great, then I can get it out to everybody else.
You want to stop? Or that's the key?
You had that actually for the lady that's not here.
I have,
So I spread that over, but he brought us that too, so. You guys can have.
I have it.
You know what? Thank you. Thank you.
You can make more if you need, so, absolutely. Thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
What was it? Consider adjournment.